What's up guys, today I'm going to be going over my ultimate Titan build for season 11. Just like I made one for Warlock, I'm now making one for Titan. And actually this video will have two builds in it, one on Void and one on Solar. So there's actually be two different builds. And after watching the video, let me know which one is your favorite. So first starting off with the Void one. Exotic we're going to be using is going to be Doomfang Pauldron. Void melee kills give super energy, while Sentinel shield is active, melee kills recharge shield throw, which extend your super on hits. And we're going to be using that on middle tree Sentinel or top tree Sentinel for Ward of Dawn. And we'll explain how these two different paths affect the build as we go. So first showing off what that does is pretty straightforward. You get a kill with your Void charge melee and you get a chunk of super instantly. So we're going to pair that with Monte Carlo, where dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully recharge your melee ability on each kill, which means we're going to have our Void melee more often, and every single time we use our Void melee, we're going to get ×5 of the Monte Carlo perk, which means it's pretty much a good swashbuckler, where we're going to get a huge damage buff to the AR bullets itself, so that means it's going to be very easy to get kills with it after getting our melee kill, which means we can get our melee back even quicker, and it's just this combo back and forth. And since we're going to be using our Monte Carlo a lot and pretty much have the buff at all times and never have to reload it, we're going to be getting a lot of AR kills, which means we can use this mod right here. Become charged with light by rapidly defeating combatants with ARs. So now every single time we get 3 kills with our Monte Carlo, we will become charged with light. Sometimes it takes 4, but it should only be 3 depending on how quick they are. And with that stack of charge of light, we're going to do 2 things. The first being Lucent Blade, which is going to give us an increase to sword damage when we're charged with light, consuming 1 stack and will last for 5 seconds. And the other part of this mod will greatly increase the charge rate of our heavy attack. So 2 things going on here. The buff to damage is going to be 35% for 5 seconds. It does not stack with other buffs in the game, but it's still pretty much free weapons of light for yourself. And the second part, your heavy attack will come back 22% quicker, which is very, very nice also. Then the other thing we're going to be doing with our stacks of charge of light will be heavy-handed. While charge of light regain half of your melee energy when you use a charged melee ability, consuming 1 stack of charge of light. Then the second part, which we will be using also, while surrounded by multiple combatants, defeating a combatant with a fusion rifle, shotgun, sidearm, or SMG adds ammo for that weapon to your reserves. So the first part of this mod we're going to be using a lot, and it's going to help us get our melee back even quicker. So pretty much what you do is use your Monte Carlo to become charged with light. You get a melee kill, which will give you a chunk of super with your exotic armor. Then you're going to get half your melee back because you're charged with light with heavy-handed, which means you only need to hit a few things or get 1 or 2 kills with Monte Carlo to get your melee charge back, which then means you're ready to melee the next enemy, get more super, fully reload your Monte Carlo, reproc the ×5 of the perk, and yeah, it's a pretty good chain to get your super very quickly and become charged with light all the time, and also have a really good primary weapon in Monte Carlo with the ×5 buff up at all times. And as we mentioned, we're going to be using the second part of heavy-handed also with the Ikelos shotgun from the dungeon. And as we showed off with this mod, as long as you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies, every single time you get a kill, you'll get 1 ammo back, so it's going to be pretty much infinite ammo if you're not spamming it. Then on top of that, Ikelos weapons now create Warmind cells, so you're going to have an infinite ammo shotgun that can create Warmind cells. And that leads me into my last armor piece right here, my class item, which I have global reach on it for the increased blast radius of every Warmind cell I get. And we also have oppressive darkness, and then we also have hands on because we're going to get a lot of melee kills. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this build, you can do it on either middle tree or top tree, depending on what you need. Middle tree will be more of like a solo ad clear, and top tree will be more of like a teamwork based one for endgame activities. And every single time on top tree when you get a melee kill, you will have an overshield, which will be very nice. And you will get that melee charge back way before that overshield falls off, so you're pretty much going to have a permanent overshield on top tree with this build. On middle tree, every single time you use your melee attack, it's going to do the void detonators, and that will spread to other enemies nearby, which means every single time they die, it will then give you health back, then also give you all of your abilities back. So both trees are very good for different things. Top tree more of a teamwork one, and middle tree more of a solo ad clear. Moving on to the second build for this video, which will be on sunbreaker on middle tree, and our main exotic we're going to be using is going to be Ashen Wake, which is kind of weird, but what this does is fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. So the whole idea behind this build is get Roaring Flames ×3, which will increase your solar ability damage. And what you can do is throw your fusion grenade at ultras, majors, or even red bars, and pretty much kill them instantly, then also get your full grenade charge back. It takes 1 ultra to get your full grenade, 2 majors, or 4 red bars, so it's very easy to have infinite grenades. Then with those infinite grenades, we're going to be using Wrath of Rasputin, where solar splash damage final blows have a chance to create Warmind cells. And this mod works exact same as all the other Seraph weapons. 1 ultra, 4 majors, or 5 to 7 red bars will guarantee to spawn in a Warmind cell for you, which you then shoot to do that huge explosion and clear out the entire room. And pretty much the entire idea behind this build is having a bunch of solar splash damage type things that can create those Warmind cells for you, which leads me into my weapon choice. There's going to be two different things, Sunshot plus a 1-2 punch shotgun, or we can do is Martyr's Retribution, which is that wave frame grenade launcher plus Ace of Spades or any other exotic primary that you want. And depending on which one of these you're doing will determine your next mod right here on your helmet. The first being this one right here. While you're not charged with light, any kill or assist has a small chance to cause you to become charged with light, and that mod will work if you're using Sunshot. But then if you're using Martyr's Retribution, you can use Blast Radius right here, become charged with light on double kills with GLs. No matter which build you're doing, the whole point is to become charged with light, and either Sunshot or Martyr's Retribution can also create Warmind cells with the Wrath of Rasputin mod. So the point of these two different weapons are to both become charged with light and also the Warmind cells. So depending on which one you prefer, you can use either or. So once again, we're going to be using Lucent Blade to take advantage of our stacks of Charge with Light, which will get that 35% increase to sword damage and also that 22% increase to the cooldown of our heavy attack. Then finally on our class item, once again, we have Global Reach, then we have Ashes to Assets this time. Then we also have Solar Plexus, which will be increased solar melee damage, which is why I had the 1-2 punch shotgun on the Sunshot variant of this build. So with this build, you have two really good ways of doing boss damage. You obviously have your Dark Drinker 2.0 with the Lucent Blade mod. Then you also have a good 1-2 punch build with the Roaring Flames ×3, the Solar Plexus, then also the mini hammers on Middle Tree. Then pair that with your 1-2 punch shotgun and you're doing pretty good damage. It's not as good as the sword, but it's just another thing you can do on this build to take advantage of Roaring Flames ×3. So as you can tell, the whole point of the solar build is to have a bunch of ways to do solar splash damage to create Warmind cells. You have infinite fusion grenades that do a lot of damage with Roaring Flames ×3. You have a good melee build with your throwing hammer with Roaring Flames ×3 once again, and also Solar Plexus. You have really good ad clear in either Martyr's Retribution or Sunshot, which help you become charged with light and also create more Warmind cells. Then you also have Dark Drinker 2.0 for your main damage source with Lucent Blade. So that build is definitely pretty cool. It's a little bit different than your like typical build. It's not something you would really think of. But then on the other hand, the Void build is pretty crazy. I think it is my favorite out of the two. I think it's the most practical for pretty much everything in the game. The Middle Tree build is really good for just solo play and just going for pure ad clear, but then the Top Tree build is actually really good for end-game activities and things like that, where you're going to be using bubbles and weapons of light to help your teammates. And also on the Top Tree build, you're going to give not only yourself but all of your teammates overshield pretty much constantly, so that's also a very huge benefit to that build. Anyways, the rest of the video will just be some strike gameplay with these builds. Let me know which one is your favorite of the two. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.